Hey, what's going on, guys? Today let's take a look at Mobile Suit Gundam Machine Head 2. Now, while Machine Head 2 sounds like some terrible, like a horror movie sequel, it is the second in the Machine Head line series, and it seems to be the last. I don't think that they are going to continue with this anymore, it seems. So I did a video on the first set a while back, months ago, and now finally got to grab the second set as well. I like these quite a bit. They're really cool. You can buy them in a box of 10. So there's 5 different models and 2 versions of each of those. Basically, you're getting the full set here in a box. And I think this box cost around 4,500 yen or so, if I remember correctly. Opening this up, and there you go. You can see it's showing the clear versions. So yeah, there's like a full color version and a clear version of each of the 5 designs. I think on the outside of the box they're all the same because it's meant to be a mystery which one you get in the box. So you can see the different options. Here is the Barzam, the ZZ Gundam, the Sinanju, the GM Sniper, and the XS Gundam. So some pretty cool designs in here for sure. You can just see on this side is highlighting one of the features of these, that they have like some open hatch gimmicks. So in this case, the incom, I guess you can like pull this forward a little bit. You can raise the incom out and you can open up this back panel of the head a little bit. So it's just kind of showing the XS head, for example, but the other heads all have the same feature. So nothing really too much here on the outside of the box. Just on the back you can see what the options are again. Also, I guess that's the S Gundam, not the XS Gundam, but anyway, you can see we do also have some options here for the GM Sniper. I think you have the option of making the GM Sniper custom, so that seems like a very good time to get that with the GM Master Grade GM Sniper custom coming out very soon. So in the box you basically get 3 things. With this being a candy toy, you get your 1 piece of awful chewing gum. You get a small little instruction sheet for that showing just how to put the parts together and then how to open up the gimmick for that. So it looks like our first one out of the box is the full color version of the Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam. So there's that. What I basically want to do here is just take them all out of the box first, and then I'll put them all together and show them to you guys. So again, all the boxes are the same, so I want to show you guys every single box, take out that gum. And box number 2, it looks like is the clear version of the Zeta. Double Zeta, sorry, I keep saying Zeta. Clear version of the Double Zeta Gundam, and that was just right next to that, so it kind of makes me wonder if they're just going to be like right next to each other. So we'll just take out the next 2 there on the top, and we'll see if these are the same color and clear version of the same thing. So this one here is the clear version of the GM Sniper. So there's that, and it's got the extra bag here is for the extra parts, for the option for that. And then we'll see if this one here is just the regular GM Sniper. No, this is the Barzam. So anyway, this is the color Barzam. So I don't think you guys need to see me going through the process of opening every single one of these boxes, so I'm going to finish opening these up and just snap them together, and then I'll show you guys how they look. Alright, so here is the full lineup of the 10 heads that you'll get in this set, and they're all their different parts and things like that. And one thing I didn't mention before is that these parts do have pre-painting on them. So the base, like the base part below the neck on all of them is exactly the same, and then above the neck is going to be different for each kit. So for the full color versions, those are almost all entirely pre-painted, except for like the white on the XS head or the S Gundam head. As for the clear parts, they just have a few little extra details painted on them. So let me go ahead and show you those one by one. So here's the GM Sniper head, and you can see it's just pre-painted in green all around here. Looks quite nice, except for this right here on the front. That's a sandwiched part there for the front. So not only does just like the mold of that not look too good, but you can see that my pre-painting kind of missed this part there, so definitely not looking so great right out of the bat. You can see for this circle part right here on the side, which is a separate part, there's also a bit of pre-painting missing from the circle edge of that. For the clear version, it's all just going to be exactly the same in clear. Like with the regular version, you just have a clear blue visor there, and then pre-painting just some like metallic silver for the camera on the front, and then in the back as well. It's kind of hard to see, it's hidden up in there. You can see it better on the clear version. And then to make this into the GM Sniper custom, you need to remove those circle parts on the side of the head, which was not easy to do, by the way. It took me a while. Also should point out that the open hatch gimmick for this is basically moving the top part to this back position to have this sort of light set back And then the circle bits on the side, you're just supposed to have them out, look just like not pushed in all the way like that. So that's kind of like the open hatch gimmick for this head. Not really all that exciting. We do have a different head for the top part of this with the antenna on there. Okay, there we go. Once that's on, and then you put the mask part across the bottom too, and then you can bring that down to cover the front. There you go. So if you do want to have that closed up, it's going to be looking displayed like that. In a way, I think it looks a little bit better than the master grade, actually, to be honest. We'll have to see. You don't have the master grade in hand yet, but it does look pretty alright there. I quite like that. Up next, let's take a look at the S Gundam head. So again, this is just white plastic. So that part is not painted, and then this silver part, that's also just molded silver kind of metallic gunmetal plastic like with the neck part. But the yellow and the red parts and then the eyes, of course, are all pre-painted on there. For the clear version, we just have pre-painted eyes, camera, and then the incom is also still pre-painted for the mechanical clear version. Oh, the camera there on the back of the head as well. So for the gimmick for this one, this front part actually slides out as I expected. This one also really fighting me. I'm really having trouble with all these. It's really hard to take these apart once you got these together. You just take off that incom, and then you have a replacement one here. So you put that kind of like half one to the side. Put our V-fin back on there, slide that back out, that part back there on the top of the head. So that is coming out there, and then you can also open these panels here at the back. Those just come off, and you can see there's two slots there, so you'll just move it into the farther back spot like that, and you can have that so it's kind of opened up as such. Pretty cool. Okay, next up we've got the Barzam, and this is just all the blue and all the yellow is all painted. The yellow is actually two parts that kind of sandwich together, and you kind of have to take them apart and then put them back together in order to put this thing together. And then, but like some of that yellow paint just kind of leaked into there, so it's kind of hard to close that back up again. We'll have to like take a knife and kind of scrape some of the paint out inside of there. But actually, to be honest, I'll probably be repainting these completely anyway. But there's how that looks. The mono eye, unfortunately, it doesn't really light up or anything at all. Under UV light, you can see the mono eye is not lighting up at all. Actually, the sides of there are actually lighting up quite a bit. I think what that is, though, is where the blue paint is very thin. So I think this is probably molded in white plastic, so that white plastic is actually shining through the blue paint. And then the clear version, going to be looking really cool. That horn on the top of the head looks cool in clear, because you can see like this kind of details and there. It makes it look a little bit more interesting. Quite like the look of the clear version of this. For the gimmick for the Barzam, you just slide the forward part of the head forward. It's just like on a track, but there's nowhere to make that stop, so just kind of pull it forward a little bit at your own discretion before it's like actually falling off. And then the back of the head works the same as the S Gundam. You just kind of take off these back panels and then move them into the farther back position. Okay, so there you go. Just move it into this back one, and then that's how the Barzam's head is open. It's interesting, not really looking all that great as far as a gimmick for that, but the head itself does look pretty nice. Then we got the Double Zeta Gundam looking pretty nice here with that mullet in the back. As you'll see here, and this is with all of the kits, they're not, I mean, they're just like small tiny little candy toys, so the molding and the fitting on them is not great. They don't fit like super flush in every area. You can see like little nub marks and things on them in different places, and like I've mentioned, the pre-painting is not always that great, so they're not like super high quality. They're just things that I think if you really want them to look their best, you will have to probably put in some extra work. Now this one is pre-painted. I guess it's probably just plain white under there, but it's probably painted in like this kind of like slightly greenish off-white color. And then we have the eyes are pre-painted there, and then just everything on this head is pretty much painted. And the clear version of that, it's pretty much just the eyes that are pre-painted in this case, and then the cameras, the camera on the back of the head, and nothing really too much else is painted on this one. Now for the gimmick for this, there's this red part on the top, and you're meant to just slide it forward, but I'm finding it's not really wanting to slide. So I've just kind of took it off and then put it back on, and it's just like a little bit farther forward like that. I guess it's really not all that much different. Then for this part, for the top, you're meant to just kind of just like lift it up a little bit, and kind of that's it. And then we have the same gimmick here for the back panels. Just move that back, and then you have a little bit of separation there showing some nice detail. I will admit though, it does look pretty nice with all that stuff with the front and the top parts just like all just slightly opened up, and you can see some nice mechanical detail in there in the side of the head. actually looks pretty good. And then the last one here is the Sinanju. I gotta say, I'm not really as happy with this now that I'm seeing it out of the box as I was kind of looking forward to it. Just the general shape and everything is just not really as much to my liking. I think it depends on the angle you're looking at it. Like from an angle, something like this, it doesn't look too bad, but if you're looking at it from more straight on, it just looks a little bit goofy. It looks a little bit kind of like long in the face and squeezed, and just the proportions look a bit odd. Here you can see a little bit big difference there in the gap in the back there as well. So for this, obviously, as you can maybe tell, it's painted in like a really high shine red. So especially if you compare that to like the red used for the ZZ Gundam, you can see that's just like kind of dull, flat finish. But then for the Sinanju, it's this really bright, shiny red, so that's cool. We do have the tiny little mono eye there with a little bit of metallic green paint as well. And then in the case of the clear version, we have the Vulcans painted in gold, and then the mono eye there in just the same color, metallic green for that. For the Gimmick, you just take off the top of the head, revealing a lot of interesting detail in there. Move that to the forward position, and then the top of the head is kind of like up and off like that. And then we can move these back panels back as well. Now in this case, you have to like dislodge the tubes that go underneath and kind of rotate that so it's out of the way. You can set this back, and then I guess you can't actually move the tube back again once that's connected in the back position because it's kind of like in the way. So I guess you're meant to just kind of leave the tubes out forward like that. So that's how it's going to look in exploded view, and that probably is going to end up looking a little bit better because when it's all opened up like that, you can't really notice the proportions as well because they're just kind of hidden by the fact that the armor is kind of away from the head there. So yeah, pretty interesting, and there's a lot of detail in there, so that'll look nice when it's painted up. So that's the whole set. Overall, these are pretty nice. I think if you're just buying them just as some kind of nice display pieces, think you just want to kind of like put around in different places on like your desk or shelf or something like that, they can be pretty cool. I know you guys will be probably asking me about the scale of them. These are roughly about 1/100 scale. I've heard of people using these for replacing the heads on 1/100 scale kits. I think the scale might be a little tiny bit off, but generally they're right around 1/100 scale. You can certainly try it out, of course. What I'm planning on doing with them, though, as I alluded to, is just painting them, and probably those parts on here that are already pre-painted, I'll probably just be stripping that off in most cases, most or all cases probably. It's not something that I'm going to be doing anytime soon. It's just something to kind of keep around for anytime I want like a small little project. I'll just paint up a couple of these. As far as the clear ones, I'll just be painting some of like the inner detail inside the clear parts, obviously. So they will take some more cleanup. Like I said, just sanding some different areas to get things fitting a little better, sanding some nub marks a little bit better just from the factory process, but just kind of how it goes with little candy toys like this. So the last thing I know you guys have really been waiting to see is about the gum. Okay, so here I've got all 10 pieces of gum, and let's give them a try here. I'm interested in testing out exactly how long the flavor is gonna last. Trying first just to get them into one mass of gum. They're fruity. It doesn't taste bad, don't get me wrong. The problem with this gum, when I've tried it before, is that the taste only lasts about 5 seconds. I think having 10 pieces in my mouth at once has definitely helped to draw out the flavor, but I can already feel it starting to reside. Chewing a big wad of gum like this, wearing out my jaw. I'm really getting tired now. And the flavor too. It's starting to go away, but there's like the sugar of everything in my throat. It's like make my throat hurt. I gotta spit this out. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.